Man, I love this place, man.
This is nice.
It's laid out.
Once you've had success, I think it's tougher to stay there, you know. None of it's easy, but, you know, you have to musically continue to keep pushing and not reinventing, but finding a new route, you know.
Raising the bar.
Yeah, for sure.
I think outside of country music, you look at groups like U2. Yeah. They're always able to tap into some other dimension of what they bring to the table, and it's like, wow. It's just every time they put something out, you're like, as a fan, I'm mesmerized. I'm like, yeah, they nailed it again. I mean, how many years in a row are they going to do this? But they take the time, they really think it through, they're very methodical. And I think in some ways, we take that approach, we try to. And we take our time, especially with this project, like I said a while ago, 1.5 years is a long time for us to do a project. We've, in the past, knocked them out in 6 months, you know? So this one felt really good, to be relaxed with it.
I feel like even more with this album, we felt like we had something to prove and a big statement to make. You know, there are a lot of young acts coming up with a lot of heat on them right now. And I think that sometimes we could get to the spot to where we were feeling like, now wait a minute, we're still in the game and we're still very competitive. We love people that say they're influenced by us, but we're still in the game to win it, not to be one of the old guys that are left sitting around. We want to be at the top of our game and we want to bring it all the time. And that's the way we approach this record.
Probably the first album I bought was a vinyl album of Pocket Full of Gold, Vince Gill's vinyl album. I still have it, actually. And I have a record player, and I still listen to it that way because it sounds amazing.
My first record that I ever bought was Chicago 16, actually on cassette. I heard Hard to Say I'm Sorry on the radio, and I had to go right to the store immediately and pick that up, and I wore that cassette tape out. And it's actually still on my iPod to this day, so yes, I would buy that record 20 times over.
Good one. Real good one.
Yeah, mine might have been Def Leppard, I think. Yeah, I'd buy it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, kid of the 80s, so.
Yeah.
The early influences musically in my life were, you know, my grandfather, you know, he'd pick and play, and of course Elvis was always playing, and then, you know, kind of went to Merle Haggard and George Strait to Stevie Wonder to Peabo Bryson to, so just a wide variety.
My early musical influences were definitely my family. My mom and dad were both musicians. I grew up in a very musical environment, so I really didn't even have a choice. I mean, I was surrounded by it. My grandma and grandpa played music. They played bluegrass, so I grew up on a steady diet of bluegrass, gospel, and my dad played in clubs Friday and Saturday nights, so I heard rock and roll and country, and everything played in our house.
I remember, like, Def Leppard, honestly, like, I loved to play some rock guitar when I was a kid, and I mean, every kid wants to do a little bit of that, you know, when they're growing up playing guitar. And as a teenager, man, and Def Leppard just, it was amazing what Mutt Lange did with that band, produced them and stuff. The guitar tones were just amazing. It's something I'd never heard before, and it was so different, and I locked myself in a room wanting to learn that stuff, you know?
When it comes to our music, I've always considered ourselves to be pioneers rather than following a trend, and that's what I've tried to do from the standpoint of when we go in and record a record. I want it to sound different than anything else out there. I don't want it to be like anything else out there, so I think it's kind of puts yourself at a deficit when you start trying to copy things and listen to other people for influence. I think you go in with the intent to create something new that is going to influence people. We find our songs everywhere. Doesn't matter if a writer's established or not. Doesn't matter if a guy down the street wrote the song that doesn't even have a publishing deal. If it's a great song and we believe in it and we want to cut it, it doesn't matter who writes it.
Best song wins, so.
Well, you gotta understand too, when we do a project, since that is a rule of ours, it has been since day one, the best song wins. We listen to hundreds of songs in any given project, and those hundreds through the past 14 years have turned into thousands. And so it's a lot of songs, a lot of songwriters, and you know, we love that. We love that process of finding the right colors to put on the painting of a new album, and that's exactly what it is. These songwriters all have something unique to say, and this guy sings it, you know immediately if he believes it or not, so it's a gift. A
lot of times, you know, the melody will hit me dead in the face, and it's like songs on the new album like Riot. I couldn't wait to sing that song, and songs like Memphis, couldn't wait to sing. It's just that melody and that lyric and that story, and you know, you just dim the lights and you put yourself there, you know.
I think there are probably a couple of songs that really speak to where we're headed and what we've kind of done on this record. Probably DJ Tonight would be right up there in the front of the pack. I would say a song like Powerful Stuff comes to mind. And there's a song called The Mechanic. that it's a Tony Lane and Jaron Johnston song that lyrically may be one of the best songs I've ever heard in the past 5 years. So I think that there are glimpses to different sides of the Flats musically, and it's not just going down one road. You know, it kind of forks off. You know, you have your best of both worlds. I think the people that fell in love with us 14 years ago are going to find something to love on this record, and the new fans that are just discovering us are going to find new reasons to enjoy our music.